Hello, my name is Ville Rimpilainen and I will now present our updates on personalized electrical brain imaging project. Recent studies have highlighted the importance of using individual head models in order to localize accurately brain activity from scalp EEG recordings. Particularly, the knowledge of individually varying scalp conductivity has been shown to be paramount for localizing neural activity. In our project, we developed a software pipeline for electrical impedance tomography imaging that can be used to personalize the electric conductivities of different tissues, and for the software that uses this personalization to achieve high-resolution EEG source imaging results. Now, our results have been published, and we have started to plan for the next steps to move from the simulated environments to the real world. Now that the software is ready, in phase 2, our goal would be to build and prototype this EEG-EIT brain imaging device. And our ultimate goal would be to create a portable, non-invasive EEG-based brain-computer interface with a closed-loop feedback that a user can use to interact with others and the surroundings. So more about this brain-computer interface. One keyword here is non-invasive. Currently, the most effective BCIs use invasive methods. For example, a small device that is implanted under the scalp and wired directly to the cortex of the brain. These invasive procedures can cause infections, hemorrhage, have biocompatibility problems, and may even cause personality changes. Therefore, we want to do this non-invasively, mitigating these risks by inferring the neural activity in the brain with the help of EEG electrodes that are attached on the scalp. Another keyword here is feedback. At the moment, the only feedback the user gets is what he or she sees happening. Therefore, it is very challenging to, for example, regulate the force of a prosthetic arm. That's why it would be significant improvement if the arm could send feedback to the brain. For this purpose, we have already started performing simulation studies with brain stimulation modalities. To accomplish our goals, we plan to team up with collaborators who have expertise in robotics, electronics, and neuroimaging. Thank you for listening.
Hello everybody. I will briefly present the last progress done by SPHINX, which I recall aims realizing X-ray holograms at nanometer level by taking advantage of the new coherent sources on synchrotron and especially on X-ray lasers. So to do that, we also take advantage of the recent development of polycapillary X-ray optics, which constitutes actually a key element of our proposal, and which let us design a system for phase contrast holography. This was anticipated many years ago, but never implemented due to the lack of material means. So by the end of ATTRACT phase 1, we had the full design of mechanics, cryogenics and electronics, and we also had the production almost completed. We had also the first X-ray optics, the batch of lenses delivered by our specialized factory inside the institute, and we prepared testing these elements on synchrotron, but the tests were of course postponed for mobility opening. We have the data acquisition system and the slow control fully functional and tested, and we also have a Monte Carlo code in a very advanced phase. We are working now on the reconstruction program of the images. Okay, after that, in the last 3 months, we put together all the elements of the detectors. As you can see in the top picture, we now have an X-ray deeply depleted CCD camera of 116 centimeters square and equipped with cryogenics and vacuum system. Both were tested, and we also have a low noise readout electronics. Then we started working on the optics bench, which it's fully designed, and actually all the components were realized, and the ordered actuators arrived in the lab, and we also have a second vacuum chamber, feed throughs, flanges, and all the necessary stuff. So this optical bench, it's a high precision mechanism with 10 degrees of freedom. It has 8 translations and 2 rotations. The average step of the translation is 50 nanometers, and for the critical element, the sample stage, we have a 25 nanometer measurement feedback on the actuators. So this system, it's in advanced installation phase and will be completed very soon. I want to mention here that both camera elements, except for the CCDs, vacuum and cryo, and all the precision mechanics for the optical bench were exclusively realized with the financing provided by Attract. So now what can we do with this bench? It's, as you can see, we have a 3-axis micromotor for the capillary lens, and the pan tilt actuator, and those together allow us to nicely center and align the lens on the beam. Then we have an additional XY diaphragm, which let us investigate a single capillary or a small group of capillaries, and then we installed the high precision 3-axis actuator for the sample, which is equipped, as I said, with closed loop system and gives the measured position. So allowing to scan the sample and to perform also diffractive calibration procedures. So the measurements of optical parameters was planned and agreed with the diamond synchrotron, and it's to be started when reopening. So the last news is that this might happen by April 2021 or the end of April. Another good news is that thanks to the Attract conference and to the organizers, we established a contact with the European XPEL, which is an aimed destination for our project. And of course, we are in a preliminary interaction phase, since specific plans can only be done after having measured the real performance of our system. But overall, the project went very well despite the delays induced by the pandemic, and we are happy we succeeded to build a full prototype with which we hope to obtain physics results as soon as possible by performing a measurement campaign. Thank you very much.
Hello everybody. My name is Snoeys, and I will present to you today the FASTPIX project. We aim to provide a CMOS sensor structure eliminating the trade-off between minimum pixel size and signal timing variation, and lay the basis for a dream sensor with much better timing resolution and radiation tolerance, which will revolutionize not only high-energy physics experiments, but also other scientific measurement tools and sensors in daily life, like LiDAR in cars or medical applications. In October 2020, we just started the measurements after we received the prototypes from manufacturing over the summer. These measurements now validated the methods accelerating charge collection for better timing resolution, and this for the first time for a 10 micron pixel pitch. On the left, 2 rise time distributions for a single pixel for a strontium-90 illumination are shown. At the top for a standard process and at the bottom for a process with accelerated charge collection. The difference and improvement is very clear. This gives confidence the same techniques can be applied in deeper submicron technologies. In fact, a 65 nanometer CMOS imaging technology was explored late last year in the framework of the CERN EP R&D and the ALICE ITS-3 upgrade. The very fruitful interaction with the foundry and collaborating groups further contributes to a head start for a Phase 2 ATTRACT project, with experience in a more advanced technology, potential for expansion of the consortium with several more groups interested, accelerating the project and time to market. If FASTPIX were to be selected for ATTRACT Phase 2, a significant effort is required to implement the same innovative principles in a very advanced submicron technology to obtain a further significant performance step, and also sensors more practical to be integrated in a product, and finally aim for picosecond timing for the single visible photon. The 65 nanometer technology already explored would be an excellent candidate as a next step. As potential partners, we consider Silicon Foundry specialized in fast timing imagers, some of which we already collaborate with, and companies or partners specialized in the different potential applications. Results from the present prototype already can raise their interest and could enhance their product. Such partnership, we believe, is essential to reduce time to market. We also plan to expand the collaboration with other institutes and ATTRACT projects to enhance synergies and increase resources, and the discussions have already started. At first, we will concentrate on high-energy physics application, where the performance improvement reached already now are of significant interest for various projects, and we also believe that there we can benefit from significant synergy to accelerate our project technically. After this, we will concentrate on other applications. Our first demonstrator already shows the large performance gain for our design and is a key ingredient in our communication with potential partners. However, funding from ATTRACT Phase 2 will allow us to access more advanced technologies to make this additional significant performance step, and we believe this is really essential to liberate the necessary resources to bring this technology to market. As already said, we will continue to exploit synergies to realize prototypes as we did in the first phase of ATTRACT, where we otherwise would never have obtained the prototype in such a short time. The synergy with the high energy physics here will be essential to make the necessary fast project. After that, we will need private investors or partner companies to accelerate time to market. Just as a conclusion, you can see at the bottom left a die picture of the present prototype and its deployment in various test setups and also some signals coming from it. And you can also see a screenshot of the submission which was just completed in the 65 nanometer technology, where we have more than 50 test chips to evaluate. Thank you very much.
We are reporting here the advances of Project SCORED, ATTRACT ID number 691, since October 2020. The achievements of artificial intelligence and, especially, those of artificial neural networks with deep learning approaches, are nothing short of impressive. For example, the text-to-speech conversion network that we are using to comment these slides. If we had to summarize our project in a sentence, we would say that we aim at developing the first microscope which is fully operated by a collection of neural networks, trainable by the final user, to excel in his, or her, particular application. In Phase 1, we have focused on one of these particular applications, achievement of super-resolution imaging below the classical diffraction limit, without the network being too creative, that is, without the network inventing these details. Since October, on the one hand, we have introduced a number of technical improvements, such as incorporating in the neural network training a precise mathematical criterion quantifying the image resolution, the Fourier ring correlation, with excellent results, and on the other hand, we have finally been able to obtain images of real biological samples. See figure on the left-hand side. Overall, in this phase, and as a proof of concept of the possibilities of the technology, we have demonstrated the extraction, from the information provided by the hardware prototype, of super-resolution information by a trained neural network. The characteristics of the resulting images, around 80 nanometer resolution, at some 10 frames per second, make them commercially valuable, as we are not aware of any other existing technique with this particular performance.
Now, we elaborate on questions 2, 4 and 5, reporting advances since our last document. Question 2. Partners for Phase 2. We have been actively working in building a larger and stronger alliance since the news about approval of Phase 2 were released by the Attract Consortium. Looking for the right expertise wherever this may be found, we have secured the participation of a very prominent artificial intelligence company based in Toronto, as well as a high-profile European research group specializing in super-resolution microscopy. We are also contacting a Spanish research group with long experience in the design of CMOS image sensors, in order to produce devices suitable for our advanced needs in the new phase.
Question 4. Plan to contact potential investors. The University of Barcelona awarded us a Mentor in Residence grant, with the goal to hire a professional consultant able to attract partners and investors to our project. The consulting firm, Asymmetra Biotech Solutions, with a large contact network in the microscopy business, is working toward this end since December 2020. And question 5. Complementary funding. Since our last reporting, the UB Group has obtained additional funding from the RETOS program, Spanish Ministry of Science and Innovation, €90,000 granted, to further push the technology. The CVC Group has recently applied to this program with the same purpose. The Mind the Gap program from the Fundación Botín has been identified as a proper funding scheme and added to the list already reported. We look forward to knowing more about the unfolding of Phase 2 and welcome what we anticipate will be a very tough competition from our colleagues. Thank you.
My name is Justin Schneiderman, and herein I express our interest in continuing this Nano-MEG project into the Attract Phase 2 with new funding, research and development activities, and partnerships. The aim of Nano-MEG in Attract Phase 1 was to combine recent breakthroughs in magnetic sensing technology and functional neuroimaging system design for beyond state-of-the-art investigations of the human brain in health and disease. We have, since the 20th of October last year, demonstrated record 60 femtotesla per square root of hertz in this technology, and loaded our on-scalp MEG cryostat with one such low-noise sensor. We are presently characterizing the sensor's function in this deployable on-scalp MEG system. Preliminary data is promising, and is ready for beyond state-of-the-art functional neuroimaging demonstrations once we are allowed to perform such tests on healthy volunteers. That is to say, when the COVID situation in Sweden improves. Our sensors and neuroimaging technology are each industry compatible. The fabrication process for our sensors is simpler, more robust, and more reproducible than existing approaches because we eliminate the delicate, complex, and variable material interfaces that plague the state-of-the-art. Our approach to on-scalp MEG is also scalable and industry compatible because it is modular and less expensive, both in terms of upfront and running costs, as compared to the state-of-the-art. It furthermore significantly expands the market for MEG in general because of the flexibility in our sensor array. That means all subjects and patient groups can benefit from improved spatial temporal resolution and sensitivity, regardless of their age, gender, or head size and shape. In terms of potential partnerships, we are interested in collaborating with researchers and clinicians, specifically physicists working in magnetometer technologies, neuroscientists studying brain networks, connectivity, and development, neurophysiologists studying and evaluating sensory motor, visual systems, and other cortical regions of interest, psychiatrists working on diagnosis, understanding, and treatment of, for example, depression and other neuropsychiatric disorders, and neurologists, for example, working in epilepsy, neurodegenerative diseases, or brain cancer. In general, anyone that is interested in taking advantage of improved spatial temporal resolution and more accessible functional neuroimaging is interesting to us as potential users and development partners for our technology. Industry partners of interest include manufacturers of EEG and MEG systems, superconducting sensor technologies, magnetometer technologies, and cryogenic systems, specifically for operation at 77 Kelvin. In terms of investor outreach, we aim to restart our business plan development that includes market analysis, mapping of our solutions to those needs and requirements, advancement of our benefit hypothesis and value proposition, and investor-specific presentations and pitch materials. We have been and will continue to seek funding for continued research, development, and utilization activities from private foundations, the Swedish government via the Swedish Research Council and Vinnova, as well as the European Commission via EIC Pathfinder Challenges and calls into health topics. In Attract Phase 2, we are interested in demonstrating added value at multiple levels. For researchers using functional neuroimaging technologies, we are always interested in hearing about new possibilities. We are presently envisioning 2 proofs of concept for our technology. The first is a demonstration of improved sensitivity to interictal spikes on epilepsy surgery candidates via a higher number of spikes detected and improved patient outcomes, as well as the development of a predictive classification of risk for future development of essential hypertension, which is a risk factor for cardiovascular disease. To the industry, it is clear that our MEG has a high potential for cost savings, scalability, and industry compatibility as compared to what's on the market today. A targeted demonstration of improved functional neuroimaging sensitivity and spatial resolution on a broader population, women and children, for example, and a systematic market potential study, for example with epilepsy and other clinical applications, as well as research-specific ones, are also planned. Society stands to benefit in terms of cost savings and reduction of suffering and death, for example in relation to epilepsy, cardiovascular disease, and the broader area of brain disorders and disease. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Yann, project leader of EU RAIN S4, the Enhanced Urban Rain Surveillance System for Smart City Solutions. The question that the project addressed was whether X-band radar, which is widely used in atmospheric research for rainfall observation at regional scale, could also be applied as a commercial tool to monitor weather disruptions in challenging environments such as cities. The answer is yes, if we deploy the right IT solution. Within Phase 1, a solution has been implemented that combines the development of several signal filtering and reconstruction algorithms to optimize the quality and resolution of the rainfall output, a methodology to expand the spatial coverage of the X-band radar system with third-party rainfall data sources, the design of a web service structure to offer a flexible access of the data for easy integration within end-user applications, and finally, some preliminary market and application research analysis that shows the large potential of such a solution for smart city application. So what's next? Yesterday, the last Climate Adaptation Summit again stressed how important it is to upgrade the global weather observation network in order to monitor key weather indicators which can be used to improve the future climate adaptation solutions. With Attract Phase 2, we want to turn our innovation into the best rainfall system solution for city scale. Using the output of Phase 1, we have been able to create an advanced short-term forecast, so-called Rainfall Nowcast, which completes our solution. Attract Phase 2 shall start at TRL 5, with the aim to pivot the project from a technology-driven development to a more application-driven development, focused on end-user experience which is closer to the final operation environment. Through TRL 5, our solution shall therefore be integrated within different types of system applications: risk-based assessment analysis, early warning system, flood modeling, and business model analytics. In TRL 6, we shall optimize such integration based on AI and IT architecture solutions in order to derive the best added value possible for the selected applications. New partners will be considered in Attract Phase 2. We will especially seek for public and business partners that can provide more added value on the end-user side. Early adopters will also be requested in this phase to test our solution on their own applications. At the end of Phase 2, our solution shall be ready for full scale-up test and commercial development. Our project shall be centered around the design of a development platform, as you can see in the slide, that connects the entire partner ecosystem with a solution and specific application. From this platform, it is first expected to work on several case studies to showcase applications for science, industry, and society. A list is provided in this slide, but the final list of study cases will be drawn up based on the new project consortium expertise and targeted market. Finally, the platform shall be used as an investment readiness tool for future commercial scale-up of the solution. The outputs are indeed providing first visibility thanks to the success story and the Attract program communication, but also traction with our early adopters, and finally viability thanks to the size and expertise of the consortium. Based on the project success, clear business plan shall be designed to decide on the best investment strategy to adopt, using either external investment that can be presented in external pitch events or business events, or using internal investments via the consortium network.